Hello and welcome back to the Tech Blackboard. In today's episode 34, we are going to focus questions based on Azure IoT, Azure VPN, Databricks, DevOps, and many other topics. Topics that are less talked about and thus less understood, but then still very important from the exam point of view. And friends, sailing along the questions, try to read the questions with me, pause the video, pick your answer, and validate your understanding along with the correct answer picked by me. Loads of valuable Azure concepts, Microsoft documentation will be shared to help you gain concepts. And by the end of this episode, you will feel a little bit more confident and prepared to pass AZ-900 exam. 640 questions on AZ-900 are already covered, so please do not miss to watch the previous episodes of this series. All the links are shared in the description box. And now, let's gear up for this episode. So let's begin part 34 with question number 641. It says a company wants to implement an IoT solution service available in Microsoft Azure. Now, which of the following would meet the below requirement? Your requirement is monitor and control millions of Internet of Things assets, and your options are IoT Hub, IoT Central, IoT Edge, or Azure Time Series Insights. And the correct answer for this question is option A, IoT Hub. And the reason is because IoT Hub is a managed service hosted in the cloud that acts as a central message hub for bidirectional communication between your IoT application and the devices it manages. And you can use Azure IoT Hub to build IoT solution with reliable and secure communications between millions of IoT devices and a cloud-hosted solution backend. You can connect virtually any device to IoT Hub. Now let me present more questions very similar to this one, but the requirements will be different so that we can understand the purpose of each of these services given in this question. So here comes question number 642. It says a company wants to implement an IoT solution service available in Microsoft Azure. Once again, you have to meet the requirement, the below given. The requirement is used to analyze data on the end user devices. The options are exactly the same: IoT Hub, IoT Central, IoT Edge, or Azure Time Series Insights. And this time, my friends, the correct answer is option C, IoT Edge. So let's understand what is Azure IoT Edge. On this documentation here, it says that Azure IoT Edge is a device-focused runtime that enables you to deploy, run, and monitor containerized Linux workloads. And further, it says that Azure IoT Edge is a feature of Azure IoT Hub and enables you to scale out and manage IoT solution from the cloud by packaging your business logic into standard containers and using optional pre-built IoT Edge modules from the Azure Marketplace. And you can easily compose, deploy, and maintain your solution. You can also read what are the three components which make Azure IoT Edge. It is Azure Edge modules. The second one is the IoT Edge runtime, and the third one is a cloud-based interface. You can read all about this Azure IoT Hub on this documentation. As always, all the links to all the documentation that I will refer in this part will be shared in the description box. So now let's move on to the next question. A similar question once again, question number 643, but this time requirement is different. It says provides a fully managed APaaS. Please note the new term here, APaaS, which means application platform as a service solution that makes it easy to connect, monitor, and manage IoT assets at scale. Your options are once again the same, and this time, my friends, the correct answer is option B, IoT Central. So now let's understand what is Azure IoT Central. It says that IoT Central is a IoT application platform as a service, APaaS. Please note this important new term here, which is application platform as a service, also known as APaaS. Further, it says that this IoT Central reduces the burden and the cost of developing, managing, and maintaining IoT solution. And you can use IoT Central to quickly evaluate your IoT scenarios and assess the opportunities it can create for your business. Read the full documentation to understand more on IoT Central and also understand what is application platform as a service. And now let's move on to the question number 644. Question once again exactly the same. However, this time requirement says that helps you provide powerful data exploration and telemetry tools to help refine operational analysis. Your options are IoT Hub, IoT Central, IoT Edge, and Azure Time Series Insights. And this time, my friends, I hope you have already guessed it. This time, option D, Azure Time Series Insights is the correct answer. So once again, what is Azure Time Series Insights? I'm sure many of you would not know. So this is a fully managed analytics, storage and visualization service that makes it simple to explore and analyze billions of IoT events simultaneously. It gives you a global view of your data, which lets you quickly validate your IoT solutions and avoid costly downtime to mission critical devices. And in case you are more interested to know about Azure Time Series Insights Gen 1 Explorer, this is the documentation. Here you can read all about this. It says exactly what we just read in the documentation. So you can explore further this service in your sweet time. But for now, let's move on to the next question. Question number 645. This is a different question. Let's read it out. It says a company is planning on hosting 2 virtual machines in Azure as shown below. So here you can see the virtual machine and their names. So we have demo virtual machine 1 and demo virtual machine 2. And furthermore, we are also given with the sizes of the virtual machine. So both of the virtual machines are the size of B1S. Then it says that when an Azure virtual machine demo 1 is stopped, so basically when this virtual machine is stopped, you will still incur cost for storage attached to the virtual machine. Yes or no? And the correct answer, my friends, is definitely yes. And we have talked about this concept many times in the previous questions, but let's revisit the concept once again for those our friends who have joined us for the first time today. It says that Azure continues to charge the virtual machine core hours while it is stopped but not deallocated based on the size of the virtual machine and the image you selected to create virtual machine. You continue to accrue the charges for the virtual machine cloud service and the storage needed for the virtual machine operating disk and any other disk attached. Temporary scratch disk storage on the virtual machine is free. And in case, my friends, you want to see 2 more variations of the same question with more details on it, then you have to watch the question number 455 of part 24 and question number 474 of part 25. But for now, let's move on to the next question. Question number 646 says that what is the function of site-to-site VPN? Your options are provide a secure connection between a computer on a public network and corporate network. Option B is provide a dedicated private connection to Azure that does not travel over the internet. And the last one is provides a connection from the on-premises VPN device to an Azure VPN gateway. And the correct answer for this question is option C. And friends, all about how to create a site-to-site VPN connection in Azure portal is given in this documentation. You can read very well, understand through the pictures given here. And of course, in this tutorial, you will learn how to create a virtual network, how to create a VPN gateway, how to create a local network gateway, VPN connection, and also verify your connection. You can also understand what are the prerequisites. So everything you will need to understand to create a site-to-site VPN connection is given in this portal. Now let's move on to the next question. Question number 647. It says that which VPN implied by provides a dedicated private connection to Azure that does not travel over the internet. Your options are site-to-site VPN, point-to-site VPN, express route or VNet. And the correct answer for this question is option C, express route. And this is because express route provides a dedicated private connection. That's the sole purpose of express route. So in case, my friends, you want to understand more on express route and also want to understand or go through the questions based on express route, please watch the previous parts. And now let's move on to the question number 648. It says that which VPN is implied by provides a secure connection between a computer on a public network and a corporate network. Please note the minute difference between question number 647 and this question 648. And your options are site-to-site VPN, point-to-site VPN, express route and VNet. And the correct answer this time, my friends, is option B, point-to-site VPN. So please, my friends, make your notes when which VPN is used, because there will be lot of questions on VPN and Microsoft will give you a lot of scenarios in which you have to pick which VPN will suit to which business requirement. So very important concept from the AZ-900 exam point of view. And now comes question number 649 that says a company is planning to host an application on a set of virtual machine in Azure. Now they want to ensure that the application recovers from a region-wide failure in Azure. Which of the following concept to be considered to fill this requirement? Your options are scalability, disaster recovery, agility, or elasticity? And the correct answer for this question is option B, disaster recovery. And now comes question number 650. It says an IT engineer needs to create a virtual machine in Azure. Now currently the IT engineer has a Windows desktop along with the Azure command line interface or CLI. Which of the following would allow the IT engineer to use the Azure command line interface? And your options are PowerShell, File and Print Explorer, Command Prompt, or Control Panel. And please note that you have to pick two answers. And the correct answers for this question is option A, PowerShell, and option C, Command Prompt. And now comes question number 651. It says a company is planning to set up a solution in Azure. The solution would have the following key requirements: give the ability to host a big data analysis service for machine learning. Which of the following would be best suited for this requirement? Your options are Azure Databricks, Azure Logic Apps, Azure App Service, and the last one is Azure Application Insights. And the correct answer for this question is option A, Azure Databricks. And in case you want to learn more on Azure Databricks, this is the documentation. It says that Azure Databricks is a unified set of tools for building, deploying, sharing, and maintaining enterprise-grade data solution at scale. The Azure Databricks Lakehouse platform integrates with the cloud storage and security in your cloud account and maintain and deploy cloud infrastructure on your behalf. And you can also learn what is Azure Databricks used for. All the necessary information to understand and get started with Azure Databricks is presented in this documentation. And now comes question number 652. It says a company is planning on setting up a solution in Microsoft Azure. The solution would have the following key requirements: an integration solution for the deployment of code. Which of the following would be best suited for this requirement? Your options are Azure Advisor, Azure Cognitive Services, Azure Application Insights, and Azure DevOps. And I have told you many times, whenever the question is asking about the deployment of the code, only one service should come into your mind, and that is option D, Azure DevOps. And now comes question number 653. It says a company is currently planning to deploy resources to Azure. Now they want to have the ability to manage user access to resources across multiple subscriptions. Which of the following can help you achieve this requirement? Your options are Resource Group, Management Groups, Azure Policies, and Azure App Service. And the correct answer for this question is option B, Management Group. And why we are saying management groups and not resource groups? Well, because we are talking about managing user access to the resources across multiple subscriptions. And this is the keyword here, my friends, multiple subscriptions. And with that, let's jump on to the next question. Question number 654. It says a company is planning on hosting solutions on within Microsoft Azure Cloud. They need to implement MFA, which is multi-factor authentication for identities hosted within Microsoft Azure. Is it necessary to deploy a federation solution or sync on-premises identities to the cloud? Yes or no? And the correct answer, my friends, is no. And I know this is a tricky question, so why not validate our answer on the Microsoft documentation? So here is the documentation, and in this table, which you can read as Determine Identity Integration Requirements, here on the top of this table, you can read the very first question given is that do you currently lack an on-premises directory service? And here you can see that we are given with some of the options. The first one is Cloud Baseline, Directory Synchronization, then Cloud Hosted Domain Services, and the last one is Active Directory Federation Services. And I'm sure that you have already noted this is the option that matches with our question as well. And you can see that we are given a no against this option. So that's why no is the correct answer for the question number 654. And now comes question number 655. It says a company is planning to set up a solution in Azure. The solution would have the following key requirements. The requirement is provide a cloud service that helps to transform data and provide valuable insights on the data itself. Which of the following would be best suited for this requirement? Your options are Azure Data Lake Analytics, Azure Virtual Machines Skill Set, Azure Virtual Network, or Azure App Service. And the correct answer most definitely is option A, Azure Data Lake Analytics. Now coming to the question number 656, it says a company wants to host a set of tables in Microsoft Azure. Now they want absolutely zero administration of the underlying infrastructure and low latency access to the data. You recommend using Azure App Service, Would this meet the requirement? Yes or no? And friends, this time this solution is wrong, so no is the correct answer. And why this is so? Because Azure App Service, which is the service given in the solution, this service enables you to build and host web applications, mobile backends, and RESTful APIs in the programming language of your choice without managing infrastructure. But please note, even if this last part matches with the question, please do not get confused. In the question, we are talking about set of tables in Microsoft Azure, but Azure App Service has nothing to do with the tables. It is a service that enables you to build and host web apps and mobile backends. So that's why no is the correct answer. And let me give you two more variations of the same question. So here comes question number 657, question exactly the same. However, this time the solution says that you recommend using SQL database service. Would this meet the requirement? Yes or no? And this time, my friends, correct answer is yes. And this is because even though this is a platform as a service, which means SQL database service is a platform as a service, Microsoft still handles all the patching and updating to the SQL and operating system code. And please note, my friends, this is a very important thing for you in case the question replaces SQL database service with something like SQL database on infrastructure as a service or SQL database on virtual machine. In that case, the answer would be no, because in that case, you have to manage everything, because in case of infrastructure as service or the virtual machine, it is you who has to manage all the infrastructure. So that's why in that case, the answer would be no. While answering the question, please read the solution very carefully. Microsoft can do small tweaks in the question, a little bit of negligence, and your answer is gone. So with that cautious in mind, let's move on to the next question. Question once again exactly the same. However, this time we are given with the recommendation that we will use Cosmos DB service. Would this meet the requirement? Yes or no? And once again, my friends, this is also a correct solution. And this is because Azure Cosmos DB is a Microsoft's globally distributed multi-model database service. With a click of button, Cosmos DB enables you to elastically and independently scale out throughput and storage across any number of Azure region worldwide. So that's why Azure Cosmos DB also fits this business requirement. Now here comes question number 659. It says a company has a virtual machine created in their subscription. An application is installed on the virtual machine, and you need to ensure that the traffic can flow into the virtual machine on port 8080. Which of the following must you modify to make this work? Your options are Network Interface Card or NIC, and then we have Network Security Group, also known as NSG, Route Tables or Route Filters. And the correct answer for this question is, have you guessed it? Option B, Network Security Groups. And friends, trust me, Network Interface Card, Network Security Group, specifically Network Security Group, you will get a lot of question on this concept. So please read on this concept, how this works, what are the use cases where you should use network security groups. And in case you want further help, please watch the previous parts. We have covered a lot of question on Azure Network Security Groups. And with that, we have reached to the question 660. It says a company is planning on hosting a set of resources in Microsoft Azure. Now, they want to protect their resources against DDoS attacks and also get real-time attacks metrics. Which of the following should the company select to meet this requirement? Your options are DDoS Protection Basic, DDoS Protection Standard, DDoS Protection Premium, or DDoS Protection Isolated. And the correct answer for this question is option B, DDoS Protection Standard. So let me tell you, DDoS Standard Protection provides additional mitigation capabilities over basic service tier that are tuned specifically to Azure Virtual Network resources. DDoS Protection Standard is simple to enable and requires no application changes. And now comes the section of the video where I provide you a free PDF file. And this time I provide you free PDF file for the part number 33 and part number 34. And this is the benefit of watching the full video. So you get additional resources along with the concepts throughout the video. So you have to basically tell me the answers for the question number 622, 631, 640 from the part 33, and then for the part 34, you have to tell me the correct answers for the question number 642, 648 and 660. And please note, my friends, all these free PDF files are only distributed in case you are subscribed to the Tech Blackboard YouTube channel. So please subscribe to the channel and send your answers to our email ID, which is connectus@thetechblackboard.com. And always, my friends, always remember, if you want the free and correct PDF file, you must tell us what is the part number for which you are sending your answers. And as always, my friends, if you gain some insights, if you gain some value from this video, please do not miss to like the video. It really helps us grow and reach to the wonderful audience just like you. So please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and also share our videos on your social media platform. And you can also give us a shout out on your LinkedIn profiles using our YouTube handle, which is @thetechblackboard. And I will see you in the next video. Till then, stay fit, keep learning, and thanks for watching.